Yeah. Um, so I'm Faith Cheltenham. That's FAITH CHELTENHAM X. And it's like Faith Cheltenham X. That's the name I go by. Or you can call me Faith, or you can call me Cheltenham, or you can call me X. And I may decide and ask you to choose, one or the other depending on our circumstances and where we are. Um, but I, often am not identified by that. People are like Faith Cheltenham, not Faith Cheltenham X, because trans people are only really important when we're being utilized by white people in the LGBT community, right? Our actual identities are almost meaningless and irrelevant. See a TikTok about me, see how different we look, and just be like, wow, it's like they don't care, and like they hate trans people. I would say to you, they hate trans people. Is how it is. So, and I've known that for forever, right? Which is why I was, very closeted for a long time about my own gender identity, right? In the sense of how long I felt like I was boy, girl, boy, person, all that, 5, 6 years old, right? And many times I think people misunderstood the stories about my childhood as stories about bisexuality instead of bigenderness or expansiveness around gender. And then also realizing later, wow, I'm intersex. I have differences of sexual development, which are really, really uh, have dictated a lot of my asexuality because penetrative sex is just completely painful or off the table, or it's survivable, and then it takes weeks and weeks to recover from. I get really angry at people, and they're like, "Why are you so angry?" And I'm like, "Because you fucking hurt me." So it's been a journey to be like, I'm not going to do that anymore to myself, right? I'm not going to come into the world and pretend to be something I'm not. You could deal with that or you cannot, but to ignore it is an affront to me and is representative of how trans people are represented and experience life within the LGBT community. So I have nothing to say to anybody who wants to talk about J.K. Rowling. It's like, what are you doing for trans people? You talk to me about that first, and then we can talk about something like that. I have nothing to say to you about Dave Chappelle, right? You are spending all this time focusing on something that's really not important. Trans people are homeless. We can't get work. People want to kill us. People want to hurt us. And you want to yell at Dave Chappelle. Huh? I don't see you protesting Ricky Gervais. Don't protest none of the white people. Just protest the black people. It's really because you're racist. Okay. So, these are the type of opinions that I would regularly share at the Obama White House, getting me in all kinds of trouble. All kinds. Because I, was a person who has been working in politics since I was a little kid. So for me, engaging in the political apparatus is like breathing. It's like, here's my badge, here's what I do next. It's just how I grew up. It's part of my life. And I've had a lot of blessings through that and a lot of good experiences. And if every liberal was as consistent and loving and good as some of the liberals I grew up with, I would be liberal. And I would say as well that I'm not entirely right wing conservative in that I'm sex positive. I watch adult content without children, right? And like I will watch a rated R movie. I do try to stay away from things that I feel are bad for the spirit. For myself personally, I'm just not about like demons and like stuff like that. I'm like, I don't really want to go there, in the sense that I don't find it to be healthy as like just make me feel as good as like reading the Bible or reading somebody talking about the Bible or thinking about the Bible or thinking about God and Jesus or exploring like the differences between like this Bible and other Bibles and like thousands of years of Christianity. Like I just want to dig into that. I enjoy that. That's like my deal. So it's I I, I kind of reject any assertions uh, that I any specific thing. Like I find it to be just kind of hilarious. Really, people are always like binaries with everything. You're this, you're that. It's like no, just like you, almost equally, really. But critically thinking and speaking wise, I really do enjoy being around other Christians and around people who believe like I do. I don't want to be in spaces with people who I disagree with, who are like, you know what you'd be awesome at? I'd love to have you on my wall, on the crucifixion wall. I'd love to spank you. Like, that's not like, oh, that happened once, twice. That's like every time I'm in an LGBT space as a black person. You can ask every black LGBT person, right? We're always treated with some of the most graphic disrespect you can imagine, and invited back. I'm like, I'm good, you know, and so it's totally okay, I think, to say to people, here's where I am now, right? I do think people will run with the concepts that you support people like I support Brandon Stroke, and other people who are identified as J6ers, right? Much like I supported people who were identified as J22 or what was it, J? I mean, there's been so many J's. I mean, if you've been around protesting, people have been arrested in Januaries. So, you know, it's the thing of wanting to help and support people who are being threatened by the state, people who are being investigated by apparatuses that I don't agree with or believe in and haven't for like 100 years, you know what I'm saying? As far as me and my people, like we don't really believe in these people and what they say, what they had said about Dr. King, about what they do say about people today. So like I just, you know, really kind of want to make sure that the people understand that there is a very thriving community of black folks who are independent minded, who will think for themselves and do as they like. And many of those people are folks who did go on to create Black Lives Matter chapters, right? Whether or not they're still involved with the community or they still engage in that space, but a lot of those type of folk are actually real people, really caring, who have no need for your politics, and don't find any benefit from it. So, what do I say to people? Like, you know, I want people to know, like, you're not your political opinion. That's literally just a part of you, right? And if things have gotten to the place where that's like your primary who you are and stuff, like you might want to watch a little TV or go to the movies or, you know, have an outdoor party with your mask on or something. I don't know. I feel like there's a component of mental health that we're ignoring, of people's heightened sensitivity and heightened need to be anxious and outraged, right? And to live in that space, and what that does to our bodies, what that does to our cortisol. It's the number one reason I don't read comments. It's the number one reason I haven't watched this freaking TikTok that's almost 500,000 likes. Mispronouncing my whole black name. Such an affront to black people, the white LGBT community. Oh my God. I can't wait to tell you these stories, right? So I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of stories about white LGBT people. There's going to be too many. You're going to be like, I can't believe you met all these people. I'm like, I can't believe I stayed this long. But let's go through it. We're going to go 50 through. We're going to go through all the states. We're going to go through all the cities. We're going to talk about every story, every center, every leader. And, you know, think about people while we do that, right? Think about Monica. Think about Marsha. Think about Sylvia. Think about all these people who had come before. Now see them faces paraded around, made to make schools. And those same people didn't have food in their mouths. And those same people wasn't looked out for their own communities. And those same people was run to the river by this community. So have a conversation. Think about your history. Think about it critically. Respect that people like myself are absolutely done with dealing with you. Stay black, stay proud, and just completely like, God bless you all. Okay.